Welcome to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, where in a single moment you can recognize your brilliance and change your life. This is a transformational hour that covers an array of topics that demonstrate how individuals use their native talents, as shown in their name, to look at the ordinary in extraordinary ways. Albert Einstein once said that everybody's a genius. Why would one of the smartest people on the planet declare that everyone is a genius unless he knew that to be true? I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, creator of Namology Science and author of the best-selling book, Know the Name, Know the Person. And in each show, you'll hear the fascinating ways other people discovered the genius in themselves and what they were able to accomplish. At the end of tonight's show, you'll hear clues on how you can recognize your own innate genius. Our expert tonight, once again, is Sharry Edwards, because I didn't get through but even a small portion of my questions for her last time, because she's done the most remarkable job in breaking the sound barriers of disease and interpreting how sounds affect our health. Sharry has been accused of being too scientific by some and too esoteric by others, when in fact she's actually the bridge between the two worlds. Sharry is an acknowledged pioneer in the emerging field of vocal profiling using bioacoustic biology, and she's going to explain what all of that means in a minute. She has provided the leading edge research for years to show the frequencies of the voice can be used to create a holographic representation of health and wellness. Her research has caught the attention of large pharmaceutical houses, government agencies, alternative health providers, and those who wish to create a better future. Recently, AT&T declared that bioacoustics is the medicine of the future. Excuse me. Sharry uses bioacoustic frequency patterns to shed light on what is happening in our bodies. Bioacoustic frequency is not used as a diagnostic tool to label anybody with a specific disease. Instead, it's used to assist in the understanding of what's happening in the body, like inflammation, nutritional deficiencies, and other health challenges. All of this is done based on sound. For legal reasons, I want to again reiterate that bioacoustic frequency does not diagnose anyone's disease. So for health conditions, you see your physician. However, bioacoustic frequency is a remarkable tool for understanding our bodies. Sharry Edwards was named Scientist of the Year in 2001 by the International Association for New Science for her work in bioacoustic biology. She's the director of the Institute of BioAcoustic Biology, which provides tools and solutions that create a new paradigm for health. Since so many people are not pleased with the current state of healthcare, bioacoustic biology allows individuals the opportunity to be in charge of their own health and to know what's happening in their bodies so that they can make wiser decisions based on knowledge. AT&T, again, has declared that bioacoustics is the medicine of the future. Sharry's been acknowledged by so many organizations, including the Duke Encyclopedia of Alternative Medicine, as the pioneer in the emerging field of vocal profiling using this tool. Welcome to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You radio show, Sharry.
Great to be here. I'm excited.
Oh, I'm so pleased to have you back again. And I so enjoyed the last time you were on the show and so pleased that you could come back so quickly. As we get started tonight, again, we've picked up probably new listeners. So would you mind explaining again exactly what is sound healing and how vibrational waves can impact our cells to help us become more healthy or to become sick?
Do you know how many books have been written on this? This is a great big topic. But essentially, you are a frequency being. You have frequencies running all over your body to keep you in stasis and make your finger crook when you think about it. And we have found out that these frequencies can give us information. So we stick a microphone in front of your face. We take 30 seconds of a sample of your voice, and we look at the anomalies, the things that are wrong, like sour notes in a song, and then we give you back those frequencies and train your brain, and your body heals itself. It's much like a young man going through puberty. His voice changes in response to hormones, and we just figured out what all that means, and we put it in a computer program, because really the crux of all this was I have unusual hearing, and I could hear things from people. People thought I was psychic, but really there's a sound coming out of your ear. Privacy is an illusion. We probably should talk about that. And that sound coming out of your ear, which is a holographic representation of all that you are, and Johns Hopkins University proved it. Other people know what's going on, and we just figured it all out, put it in a computer program, and now we give it away to people so they can help look at their own health. For instance, right now in California with all those fires and what happened, we just put a big database up for everybody to test themselves to see if they were affected by all those fumes and toxins and what they could do about it and what nutrients would help them. And it's online and it's free, and we want everybody to have all of it.
Give us your website. I mean, it's amazing how much material you have on there, Sharry.
Well, Sound Health Options is the data site with all the articles, like we just did an article on Elton John. And Sound Health Portal, like a ship window, soundhealthportal.com is the place where they can jump on, and it's the workstation. And right now we have up for them PTSD. We're about to put up fibromyalgia. Did you see the papers? Lady Gaga has fibromyalgia. Gardasil, neuroplasticity, to see what nutrients their brain needs, and the Breathe Free. There's 6 up there. I can't think of the other one. But they can go on, if they need a microphone, they can go on, give us a sample of their voice, and the computer will give them back a report, whether it's nutrition or muscles or what their brain needs. And we are doing this because we want a bioacoustic center in every community, because we think the health system that's in place right now is failing us, especially about the flu season. Look at this. And they can test themselves for flu and then look, have I been exposed? Am I going to get it? What nutrients do I need?
Well, I'm waiting for you guys to put up one for tinnitus. I have so many callers after our last show that said, I want her to give us specifics on tinnitus. Please ask her to put up one for tinnitus. And I guess that's really more common than what any of us would think of.
Well, I want to talk about tinnitus in 2 ways, because there's something very special about tinnitus. If you really have tinnitus ringing in the ears, it's the same sound all the time, and you can't get rid of it. And 3 things we found causes it. Low potassium, and potassium is a D sharp, and you can download our, I can't think of the word, software. And if you have D sharp low, it's probably potassium. Actin, which is an E, and that rebuilds all the hair follicles back. And then something called myosin 7, which is a node of B. So we have a computer program on our site. It's called Nano Voice. It's under downloads, and everything's there. The software, the booklets to teach you how to do it, the videos to show you how to interpret it. So if you have D sharp, E, or B, abnormal, high or low, that's probably what's causing that. And most of the time, you can find that online, and potassium, bananas, and baked potatoes. But the other part of tinnitus is incredible. Now, the damage part of tinnitus comes from loud music, just loud anything. Soldiers, a lot of soldiers from the bombs have a lot of tinnitus. And they can go have their ears tested, and we can make them a countersound so they're not hearing it. But the awesome part of tinnitus, if it's a different sound and it's not there all the time, you're actually hearing the sounds from your brain. And actively listening to that will take you into altered dimensions. It's a great meditation. Sometimes people flip right out of their body and they can see what's going on. But it has to be different at different times, soft, loud, come and go. I wrote an article about it. It's about how to go into theta, the brain wave that heals you, and you can go into that state by listening to that sound in your ears. And I think it's a signal and I don't know where it's coming from, other dimensions or whatever, to put us into these high states of meditation. So they can go on the site. There's exercises there to tell the difference and what they can hear or not and what they can do with it. But be prepared. If you're scared of spiders, the first thing that will happen, there'll be a 6-foot spider there. And you just have to say, take a bite, I'm going on.
Oh, wow. That is just so amazing. Before we get too deep into your fascinating material, I'd like to interpret some more of your name. We may have to do that after the break, though. I'm going to real quickly try to slide that in. I'm just going to do 2 little parts that we didn't do last time. And that is that you can learn anything, but you want the teacher right there next to you. And the minute you've caught on, it's like, how fast can you get rid of that teacher? Go away. Leave me alone. I got it. Thank you very much. Don't micromanage me. And the other thing we didn't mention last time will have to come after the break. So stay tuned to know the name, know the genius in you. After the break, we'll find out some more on the breaking the sound barriers of diseases. During the break, you can go ahead and listen to xzbn.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Gwilda Wiyaka's latest book, The Science of Magic Book of Mysteries, Volume 1, is the first book in a series based on her writings that open every episode of the Science of Magic radio show. Drawing on the subject matter of each guest, and armed with over 40 years' experience in shamanism, 35 years in alternative health, and degrees in psychology and religious studies, Gwilda introduces relevant and leading-edge information that supports spiritual evolution and personal empowerment. Rich with wisdom and inspirational quotes packaged in digestible segments, this is a book that will pull you from cover to cover. It will also serve as a daily inspirational reading for years to come. The Science of Magic Book of Mysteries, Volume 1 is available at our website, tsompublications.com, amazon.com, and wherever fine books are sold. Back in Victorian England, a famous theologian posed a perplexing riddle. Why are the 2 top personalities in the Bible tagged with the numbers 7 and 11? Academics agree the answer is found in the stunning discovery of a hitherto secret Bible structure explained in a new book called The Genesis Grid. The discovery is so simple that preschool children could illustrate it. Certain claims are hugely controversial and may offend some, but at the X-Zone, we've studied this awesome new book and agree with one expert, and I quote, "These discoveries appear to be beyond coincidence." So who or what hid this wonderful pattern in the Bible, and what might they do next? Find out more, X-Zone Nation, and read reviews on www.genesisgrid.co.uk. That's www.genesisgrid.co.uk.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You right here on xzbn.net. Our guest tonight is Sharry Edwards, whose website is soundhealthoptions.com and soundhealthportal.com. And before the break, I was just giving her a little bit more about her name that we didn't do last time. And the other thing I wanted to say is that, Sharry, in your name, you have it really strong that you want honesty from other people. You cannot stand dishonesty in any form. And if somebody lies to you or isn't honest with you in any way, you don't want to have anything to do with them. You may have to stay and be polite with them, but it's like it takes forever for them to re-earn your trust again.
Yes.
So, everybody, this is our second interview with Sharry. And the first one, you can look it up and on xzbn.net and go back and find totally different questions that I'm asking her this time. I was just so thrilled to have her back again. Sharry, many people feel that our healthcare system is in a crisis mode of operandi with misdiagnoses, bogus research being given out as facts, the threat of rationed healthcare, and untimely deaths. Some of the blame goes on the prohibitive costs of Medicare that people can't afford to go in, and so things get out of hand when they could be, fixed fairly soon. Would you please explain what's happening regarding these things in the medical field and how being able to tune in to their voice and everything helps them avoid some of these problems that the medical care is now giving?
Well, I think a lot of this comes down to money, where wealth has become much more important than health. And it's because the health industry is a corporation system, and their whole thing is make my stockholders money. It's not about how can I allow people healthy. On my radio show, we had a lady on her named Gwen Olson. I love her. She was a representative for selling drugs to pharmaceuticals to doctors. And she was so good at her job, they put her in charge of teaching the other guys. And the first thing they taught her was, you get the children, the babies, the newborns on medications and vaccines the first day of life, because that guarantees us a customer for life.
Oh, that's scary.
Oh, she was so appalled. She quit her job. She wrote a book about it, Confessions of a Prescription Salesperson or something like that. Gwen Olson, Olson. But she's now in hiding because of that book. But I think that's the mode of operation. Get them on medications, keep them sick. There's this whole thing of big pharma being in on it, big pharma, glyphosates, keep them sick with the food. Whoever controls health controls the quality of life. And that's what I want to put back into the hands of the people. We've had people who come in here and were diagnosed with Parkinson's. They didn't have Parkinson's. They had tetanus or something that was easily backed off so they could walk again and have a life again. We had a guy come in. His cholesterol was 60, and the doctor wanted it lower. I remember when your cholesterol after 60 years of age is supposed to be 100 plus your age. And he was in his 80s, and his cholesterol was 60. He couldn't even turn around or walk. He was on statins. His muscles were deteriorated. Stephanie Seneff is a great fighter for the people about medications and what they really do. And I just think it's that almighty dollar, and that isn't what's concerning the people. The people want to be healthy and not fatigued and bright and jump out of bed in the morning and get to do whatever they want and think wonderful, creative things and do them. That's what I want to put back into the hands of the people. We've kept this quiet for so many years because we didn't want the government coming in and saying, this is medical or this belongs to the government because it's security. So we have enough people trained now, and our 2-day classes are free, and we give you the software. If you want to train to do this and open your own center, it costs us a lot. It costs me a lot. I haven't had a salary in 4 or 5 years because I take all the money they would have paid me, and I pay people's stipends to class so they can open a center and help other people. So it's predictive. We can see cancer when it's coming. We can see immune system problems. We can pre-vaccination. We can see who's going to be bothered by a flu shot in a negative way. Those are all the tools and solutions that I want everybody to have. I think I've been given this incredible body of knowledge, and I'm just the radio. This is the medicine of the future, and it belongs to the people.
You know what's interesting? I was just reading an article how they were adding Nagalese to the vaccinations, and Nagalese was shutting down our immune systems. And without Nagalese in our systems, we could actually fight cancer, and the body could overcome a ton of diseases. They just named them, really long. And they said, unfortunately, though, once Nagalese is in our systems, that suppresses our immune system, and so it doesn't work. And we don't get it in food, and we don't get it anyway naturally. We're literally getting it through our vaccinations. And I thought about it, and that reminded me also of a book I read about vaccinations no more, or which ones you actually need. And it was saying something like our babies are now getting like 39 vaccinations when only 3 are needed, something like that. Do you have figures on that, on what we're doing to our kids?
I don't have figures, but we've done a little over 300 kids, and we have backed off some of this leaky gut and the inability to think. Part of this is something called cholesterol sulfate, and this comes out of research from Stephanie Seneff, that this cholesterol sulfate is what's needed by the brain to function and needed by the nerves and the muscles to function. And that's one of the things that the Nagalase and also the hematoglutinin, the GMOs, shut down the body's ability to create it. But we've decoded it all. We can tell you whether it's there or not, and we can't make the raw ingredients. Like, we can't give you potassium, which is just a raw mineral by itself. But if you have any sort of potassium, we can help your body turn it into a usable cell salt. So all of the elements we can't do, you have to have them. But in a lot of people, they're just stored. That's why people have fibromyalgia. Do you remember a few years ago when they said, fibromyalgia is all in your head, you're sick, you're hypochondriac? Well, we have proven that it is all the toxins from all the pills and the garbage and the pesticides that are laying down in the muscle striations, and we've actually been able to reverse it. That's the thing that's going up this week on our workstation. People can test themselves for fibromyalgia and see what they need. We have a Guardian program, Guardian of the People. So this month we're giving away the fibromyalgia software that people can put right on their computer and use, or they can go on the workstation and use it, either one.
Oh, that is just...
They don't have to be in pain anymore.
That is so fabulous. I'm going to put that out in our newsletter, too. 2 of my immediate family members are medical doctors, and neither one is practicing medicine anymore. And my dad, prior to him passing away, discouraged his own granddaughter from becoming a doctor, blaming the rise in government interference. Are there a lot of doctors leaving the practice because of government regulation that you're aware of?
Absolutely, and a lot of them end up on our doorstep. A lot of them are oncologists because they say they're just making people more ill. We have 2 or 3 programs for cancer, and we have found 3 things that really come up in your vocal print. And when you go to our workstation, they'll print out a piece of paper. It says what's going on, but it's catalase, calcitonin, and a frequency that belongs to vitamin A, but it really is one of Dr. Brzezinski's numbers to reverse cancer. So with those 3, we can see if cancer's coming within a couple of years. And there's another one, Cancer Confer, that we can use with people, and it's the Krebs cycle, the energy cycle of the body, combined with the methylation. Now, methylation, you eat raisins, they're full of iron, but your body has to change it into human iron instead of raisin iron so you can use it. That's methylation. So some of the things we're finding is that people can't use methionine, and you can go to your local health food store and buy bioavailable methionine. It's called SAMe, S-A-M, and a little E, and that helps the body detox, helps you use sulfur, helps you methylate the things that are going to detox and keep your body up and running. And the other thing is the Krebs cycle. A lot of people have pyruvate in stress, coenzyme A, so that they don't create ATP. If you're fatigued all the time, you lack cellular energy. So you can buy those at your health food store, pyruvate, Pyruvate, coenzyme A, and then ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That's expensive. It's about $30 a bottle, but it'll help kick that system back in. And
you know what? Sounds wonderful, and we're ready for another break. Stay tuned to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, and after the break, we'll find out about Star Trek Protocol again. You're listening to xzbn.net.
Broadcast studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, to the world and beyond. You're watching the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
AVS Media Demo.
The scientist and the mystic have been on an age-old, relentless search with one thing in common. They seek truth. Their paths converge in the 40,000-year-old practice of shamanism, an ancient science delving to the quantum level of life, facilitating healing, manifestation, and evolution. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, the founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Arts School, a unique Colorado State-certified occupational school, training shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also provide classes for empowering personal lives through shamanism. Our certification classes are in week-long segments enabling international participation, and online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions are available. Come discover the science of magic in the limitless world of shamanism. www.findyourpathhome.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You. Our guest tonight is Sharry Edwards, who is the pioneer in bioacoustics. Her websites are soundhealthoptions.com and soundhealthportal.com, both worth visiting. Okay, Sharry, exposure to radiation has been proven to cause future health issues that seem hidden from the originating source. For an example, an article in the Internal Journal of Health Services in December 2001 linked the exposure caused by Japan's Fukushima disaster to affect 14,000 people in the United States. What does your radiation exposure software do?
I need to back up a second and finish our conversation right before the break.
Sure.
That if you're fatigued, even when you wake up in the morning, then you've got a problem with your Krebs Cycle, Krebs. And if you're constantly having an upset stomach, then you've got a problem with your methylation. And both of those open people to cancer, and we can help people test themselves for that. Okay, back to radiation.
Thank you for finishing that. Yeah.
We do have a radiation software that we give away. We created it right after Fukushima happened, and we've had it up free on our website ever since. We offered 10,000 copies of this software to the Japanese government. And they said, we don't have any problems. We don't need this. So we started testing people on the border of California, Northern California, and there was some consistency. Wonderful people. Thank you, Richard and Dale and Dan and Sally and all these people who helped us test this software. And every day or so, we'd have them test themselves a couple times a day, and we'd see what was causing the problem. Was it strontium? Was it cesium? And then we figured out the nutrients that would counteract that because they had the same frequency. So we've put those up on our website, thesoundhealthoptions.com. It's under downloads, under radiation. There's a free textbook there, and there's free charts there that you can use to download that software and test all your neighbors. Give them copies of the textbook. Give them copies of the flyers and the charts, and let's help detox the people from Fukushima, something the government under, I think it was Obama when that happened, just upped what was safe. And they thought we were so stupid we're going to believe that. So you can actually see and test the levels with this radiation software. It's free. But I have to let people know that I'm not a doctor. And we're gathering data, and we're going to keep gathering data till somebody says, aha, this is real. This is medicine of the future. Let's embrace this. Let's go. So people who download this are going to be gathering data. But I want to see how they do. The people that have been using it are doing wonderful.
You know, talking of vibrational medicine, I've heard that was practiced by the SCIO machine. The person, the creator of that did it for our space program, is now living outside of the United States because he was so harassed by lawsuits and pharmaceuticals and everything, and that other modalities are on the way, that medicine is headed. Do you agree that vibrational medicine is actually the way we're going to be going? It's going to look more like Star Trek in the future?
I can already prove it. We already have a little tricorder that will speed up the bone setting itself and taking away the bone pain. And I just did a guide today that was phenomenal. The doctors don't know what's wrong with him. His immune system is compromised. And the numbers, everything in your body is a number. And the numbers just showed me exactly what was wrong with him. I was just absolutely amazed. And in the clinic here, we get a lot of people that the doctors cannot find what's wrong with them. And it may be 2 or 3 things. And because the doctor is not allowed to look at 2 or 3 things simultaneously because they are bound by what the insurance company tells them is allowed. They are so restricted. So many wonderful doctors wanting to help people, but they're in handcuffs and straitjackets trying to do it because, number one, of some things in Obamacare. And I had a rude awakening when I went to the doctor the other day. And because I broke my back, I fell off a 2-story balcony.
Oh, bless your heart.
They want to check me ever so often. And he said that there's going to come a time, and for me it's when I'm 74 in 2 years, that we have to do what the insurance company says, or Social Security is not going to pay for any kind of medication anymore. And he said, and you're due for a flu and a hepatitis and a coccal pneumonia shot, and you need to have it. I need to write down here that you have this, or they're going to start stopping you even going to the doctor. And I said, I'll do it on one condition. You let me inject it. He said, okay. And so they got the shots out and already, and I said, turn around. And I just shot him into the trash can. And he got to put on his thing, self-injected. There we go. There's got to be ways around this that we can educate people and get rid of those, I don't even know what you call them, rules that are prejudice against older people who really need their medication and their support. A cutoff date of 72 and a cutoff date of 74. And you're going to be forced to either take these shots, dance on your head, or do whatever they want, or they're going to take your Social Security and your medicine. Now, we pay for that every time. They did such a phenomenal job of moving Medicare to an entitlement when really we paid for it all along. I worked most of my life under Social Security, and now it's an entitlement, so they can say what we get or not get. We, as an older group, and I'm in my 70s, need to do something about this. And we have written to a lot of the Trump people who are dealing with things with vaccines. This is going to stop. This is not for the common good. This is for the pocketbooks of the they people, the big pharma, F-A-R-M-A, the big pharmacies, the big insurance companies. It's got to come down to health comes first.
You know, all of that is just scary to me. You know, I was going to say I'm going to be there, you know, in less than 10 years. And that just to me is very scary. And the fact of how there's so much oversight and regulation, and supposedly this is a free country. And to me, it's like we're losing those freedoms.
It is not a free country. Think about that stamp tax, taxation without representation, and the T-tax. Now think about the things that you do. There's a tax to drive a car. There's a tax to have a job. There's a tax to have an employee. There's a tax to have a dog. There's a tax to buy groceries. There's a tax to go to a hotel. There's a tax for a theater. This is not
one time in my math classes, not all that long ago, I went into a math class and literally said, if you make $100 and then you're going to take off your federal taxes, you're going to take off your state taxes, and then you're going to buy gas and it's this much more taxes, whatever. And we figured out that we were actually getting like 23 cents on the dollar that we could actually spend the way we wanted to, because all the rest was going in taxes.
Absolutely. I mean, gasoline's a big one. You know, in my little company, and it's nonprofit, we pay 64% of our income in taxes.
And it's nonprofit?
It's nonprofit. Employment tax, we can only make like $60,000 a year, and then you have to pay taxes after that. It is going to help so much in our little teeny company. I mean, we have 7 employees working in the building. To have these tax breaks, it's just absolutely incredible what's going to happen to our economy.
Okay, I want to back up a little bit. When you said everything in the body is numbers, you hit a chord with me because, you know, I majored in math in college and I have my master's, and I taught math for so many years at high level and low level and everybody in between. And you mentioned one time that there's a math matrix that's proposed as the medicine of the future. I'd like the sound of that math in anything. So what are you referring to when you say math matrix?
It's the harmonics of our music. Our DNA is set to music, and everything in your body uses those same harmonics of music. There's Pythagorean scales, there's even tempered scales, there's relationship scales. It's all music, and it's in our DNA. The DNA only has 4 notes, A, B, C, D. And the combining of those notes and then with another note create all the rest of the notes. It's incredible. I hear space. I can do the sound of this room, and this room will echo back to me because I'm telling the room that I know what its sound is, and it's almost like it's alive and echoes back. It's Machu Picchu. If you've ever been to Peru, that whole valley sings back to you and just sloshes you back with your own sounds 10 times louder. It's incredible. Space and time and math. I bet you God was a mathematician.
You know, Disney said that mathematics, and was quoting Galileo when he said mathematics is the language of the universe. Anyway, stay tuned to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You. And after the break, we'll find out what Sharry Edwards has in her name that has assisted her that you just might have in your name as well. You're listening to xzbn.net and Know the Name, Know the Genius in You.
Named one of the world's greatest psychics, Elizabeth Joyce is now giving readings worldwide via Skype. Elizabeth Joyce is recognized for her clairvoyant ability to help find missing persons, her analysis of dreams, past life regression work, mediumship, and her accurate predictions. Elizabeth has been a frequent guest on the X-Zone radio show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, now for several years. For an appointment with Elizabeth Joyce, call 201-934-8986 or Skype at elizabeth.joyce. And for more information, you can always visit Elizabeth Joyce online at www.new-visions.com. The new nonfiction book, Razor of Madness, is similar to cult movies like Clockwork Orange, Dragon's Tattoo, or The Other Side of Hell. Wayne Morin Jr. and Thomas Lee Howe will expose widespread and systematic deficiencies in this thought-provoking tell-all novel. Mind control rages among scholars in law schools. Human rights are ignored while thought reform and mental manipulation are accepted practices used as behavior modification. Dr. Louis Jolyon West comes to mind. Media and public scrutiny shows that United States mental hospitals are in fact destructive murder industries. Razor of Madness expose novel details this epidemic through an in-depth professional and personal investigation. For decades, there has been a revolving door policy that still releases killers and pedophiles back into society. The maestro of mind control continues to haunt America to this very day. Razor of Madness is available in paperback or as a downloadable ebook at Amazon.com.
I'm William S. Peckham. If you enjoy a good mystery with a touch of the paranormal, then you'll love my novel, From Out of the Woodwork. It's the story of a young Toronto contractor, Sean Kennedy, who buys derelict homes, guts them, and turns them into multifamily dwellings. Slums just waiting to happen. When Sean buys 29 Livery Lane, the house fights back. Former owners unexpectedly come out of the woodwork as he starts the destruction. The apparitions come to him when he touches old books, reads hidden letters, rummages through old boxes, finds a locket, or reads a discovered manuscript of a murder mystery. From Out of the Woodwork will take you from 1899 to the horror of the World Trade Center, September 11, 2001. Check out From Out of the Woodwork on my website, www.williamspeckham.com.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You on xzbn.net. Our guest tonight is Sharry Edwards, who's the leader in bioacoustic biology. Her websites are soundhealthoptions.com and soundhealthportal.com, both worth visiting. Okay, Sharry, first of all, before we get into my last bit of questions, I want to ask if there's anything that you're currently working on that you'd like to share with us.
We're working on MS, and we have been able to reverse some of the eye damage and let people see again, which I think is absolutely awesome, and a lot of immune system stuff that conventional medicine just can't touch. We put up new things all the time. We have about 150 databases that people can drop in and test themselves on, and you get a score. Okay, you're 55 on that and you're 20 on this. Gives them a score of what they should work on.
If you could mention a few things that you wish everybody knew about health that maybe people are ignorant about just because that's not their field, what would they be?
Well, we have a program called Nano Voice, and you can use it to test your allergies. And I think that's a biggie for people. They eat things that doesn't agree with their body. So they can download this little Nano Voice or read a passage that we've provided to them under downloads, the Sound Health Options and Downloads. They can read this passage, the rabbit passage, eat a banana, and then test themselves again. And they can tell how compatible that banana is with them. Because I don't think people pay attention to what their body really wants or needs, and I think that fuels our Krebs cycle, our energy cycle. I think it controls our emotions, and I think the other thing is that people really don't know themselves. They don't have a foundation of who they are without all the shoulds or what relationship they should be in, who they're really looking for, what they have to offer. So those are free things that we have on our website. We have over 500 instructional videos for people, and it's all self-taught if they want. But some people want us to do it for them, and so we do.
You know, I find that too with names. I have a lot out there where you can teach yourself, and some people go, I don't need to learn it, just tell me what my name says. And so I'm always happy to do that, or the people that I've instructed are happy to do that. So I get that, because we have to stay focused on what excites us or interests us, and I think part of that's knowing who we are. How does someone contact you if they want to be helped by you, Sharry?
Just my name, Sharry, Sharry, Edwards @gmail. Or they can go on the website and get me through there. We have a blog. I have 2 radio shows that they can jump into, and we do vocal profiling live. We're going to do it next Tuesday if people want to jump in. And whatever shows up, whether it's compatibility or smoking or fatigue or whatever, that's what we share with people. Now, if they want to come to the clinic, it's going to cost them like $300 to do that. But we can do it live, and everybody hears you, so use an assumed name. But we try to do that online and teach everybody to do it. Our thing is to teach you to do it so you can teach other people to do it. And I think vaccines and medications are really a problem in our society, and we want to help stop the chaos.
Are there any vaccines that you think are actually needed? Or is it just the binders in the vaccines that are the problems?
I think a lot of it is the adjuvants, especially the hematoglutinin. I think that's the smoking gun. When we looked at the frequency for hematoglutinin, and explain hematoglutinin, you've probably seen a cow patty where corn went through whole. The corn was not digested because the outside covering was full of hematogglutinins and kept the body from digesting it. So they put those same kind of hematogglutinins in vaccines so that the vaccine will grab onto the cell really tight and not let go. And when we decoded that and what its number is, almost probably 99.9 symptoms of autism are in that list of what that number represents. That's incredible to me.
That's scary. I mean, it's excellent that you were able to find that, but that's really scary to think that people are having illnesses or diseases because of what's being put inside of us that we think is supposed to help us, and instead it's damaging us.
And they know it. In the year-end reports for these big pharma companies, they have a line for side effects. They a plan for the millions of dollars for side effects because they make billions of dollars on the actual pharmaceutical. We need to stop it. Math as medicine, I will bet you in 5 years, because Mayo Clinic's using it now, MIT's using it now, I bet you in 5 years it'll be in every doctor's office. Math as medicine. We can look at the whole body as a big pot of numbers. And if 7 and 7 is 23, we're in trouble. Because 7 and 7 is always 14 in whatever language you're looking at. 1 and 1 is always 2. It's math. We are math-based robots. We run on math and frequency biomarkers. We proved it. We have this massive database, and people with similar issues have similar vocal anomalies. And somebody can come in and they say, I've been diagnosed with MS, and I can say, it's not MS, it's a damage to your spine. Because everybody that has this list of frequencies has a damaged spine from the data that we've collected before. It's a phenomenal way to look at the body. All this other stuff's going to be old hat.
Can you have better health in the future by listening to particular sounds today?
I think so. One of the things that we're working on, we've done 4 projects on diet, and we finally cracked it. There is an issue with if you go on these really high-protein diets and you get gout, which is, your big toe joint hurts, that turns on the hibernation gene, and then you can't get rid of any fat on those high-protein diets. We have followed people through that. We have followed people through neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin, and we followed people through adiponectin and ghrelin and all the hormones that keep you fat. The next one we found, we did a study, and it was actually published because we used Kim Kardashian as not the spokesperson because she didn't know about it. I guess I could say we used her butt because why people have large butts. So we gathered a group of people that had that issue with their thighs, and what was the commonality? We cracked it. We need to prove it with these people losing weight, but it's something that allows fat into the body, into the cell, but doesn't allow it out. Something like coconut oil that can be liquid, goes into the cell, becomes coagulated, can't get back out of the cell. And it's lipodemia. Duke University is doing a study on it. We're getting ready to publish. So we should do a show about that and just do people's vocal prints who think they have that issue.
I think that would be fascinating. Especially when we hear that coconut oil is so good for us.
Well, I just use that as an example because people know it can be a liquid or a fat. But There is a biochemical that really causes that. And I don't think being fat is an emotional issue or eating too much. There's a lot of studies that show if you eat the right combinations of food and your biochemistry is working well, you won't gain weight. And I believe that. So anybody that's overweight has a metabolism problem, and that's what we want to help with. Think of how many people feel bad about themselves because they're fat. It's like having a heart attack. It's something you can't help. Maybe your diet helped it along, but we can show people. I want diet centers. I want bioacoustic spas all over the world.
Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? You know, I see that for you. And I see that it'll just keep sprouting and multiplying, because people are waking up. They're becoming a lot more aware. Sharry, I hate that our show's coming to an end. I could keep asking you questions forever. And thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, my pleasure. There's a lot more I want to share with people.
Well, we'll just have to have you back again. Be prepared to see plenty of information when you visit Sharry's website, soundhealthoptions.com or soundhealthportal.com. Sharry enjoys knowing the truth and seeking for the truth, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with liars. That's so strong in her name. And that comes with the letter R. And with the letter R, anywhere in the name, you're going to have that desire for truth. And you're also going to have a nice rebellious spirit where you don't just want to take everything hook, line, and sinker. So over time, you develop discernment, which is really nice. Do you know where your genius lies? I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, host of the radio show, Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which can be heard every weekday at various hours right here on xzbn.net radio, an X-Zone radio station. Tune in to hear the fascinating ways that other people have discovered the genius in themselves and what they were able to accomplish. In each upcoming show, you'll hear clues on how you can recognize your own innate genius. Join us this week and every week. And if you wish to know more about your name and how you can discover your own innate genius, go to www.knowthename.com. This is Sharon Lynn Wyeth signing off.
Modern Esoteric, Beyond Our Senses by Brad Olson, consummates the lifeology story about where humanity originates. It is the lost continents, the primitive wisdom, the mythos of creation, and the rethinking of ancient history as we are taught in academia. There is much more to the story than what we have been told. As this is the first book in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric starts at the beginning of time and accelerates up to this modern age. Future Esoteric is book 2 in the series and takes a forward-looking position ahead of today with an open and honest examination of the ET issue and various unexplained phenomena. To discover the writings of author Brad Olson, visit www.bradolson.com. That's www.bradolson.com. Are you or is someone you know struggling with addictions, depression, anxiety, relationships, low self-esteem, lack of confidence, grief, success, and prosperity? Do you know that your subconscious belief plays a big role in the outcome of your hard work? We can help you permanently change the beliefs that may be the reason for your struggles and failures. We care about getting you the return on your investment and the results you are looking for. We can help you be free of the limitations of your past and in realizing your highest potential. We work with people by phone and Skype. For more information, visit us at www.ritasoman.com. That's www.ritasoman.com. Do you think you have energy problems in your home? Do you feel better when you're away than when you're home? Joey Korn is a global leader in the world of dowsing who specializes in personal energy clearing and space clearing. He can help you create an ideal energy environment in your home no matter where you live in the world. Learn about his remote spiritual house cleaning services and much more at www.dowsers.com. You can get Joey's book, Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment, as well as other dowsing books and tools, Kabbalah books, and Walter Russell books. Joey's work is really amazing. Go to dowsers.com right now. That's DOWSERS.com, or call 1-877-DOWSING. That's 1-877-369-7464.